What are the most reliable cars of the year? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Help Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. Consumer Reports recently released their annual reliability survey for the year. So we're going to dig deep into it and see which car brands came in the top 10 spots as being the most reliable. And also which specific models are the most reliable of all from each of the top 10 brands. And I'll also give you my thoughts on whether Consumer Reports got their picks right or wrong. So let's get right into it, starting with the first car brand that comes in the number 10 spot, and that is Hyundai. Hyundai received an overall score of 50 out of 100, which means they were dead average across all 22 brands that were surveyed. So certainly not great, but far from the worst either. And that pretty much sums up Hyundai reliability. Most of their lineup received an average score. The only models that scored above average are the Sonata and the Elantra hybrid, which had the best scores. Hyundai's least reliable models are the Santa Cruz and the Ioniq 5, which both scored below average. That's largely due to recalls, transmission problems on the Santa Cruz, and charging issues with the Ioniq 5. So I'll give Consumer Reports the pass on this one. Hyundai makes some great cars and they are nicely designed, but they have a lot of room for improvement as far as reliability is concerned. And the same is also very true of the next brand that comes in the number 9 spot, and that is Kia. Kia received a very similar score to Hyundai with an overall score of 51 out of 100, which makes perfect sense given that both brands are jointly owned sister companies. Most of Kia's vehicles only have average reliability, with the exceptions being the Sportage or Sportage, Carnival minivan, and the Sorento hybrid, which all scored above average. The least reliable Kia is the EV6, which scored below average. Both the Ioniq 5 and the EV6 suffered from the same recalls with charging-related problems, which explains their very low scores. Like Hyundai, Kia makes nicely designed vehicles, but quality-wise, they do have a lot of room for improvement. And the next car brand which Consumer Reports put in the number 8 spot is one that I find somewhat questionable, and that brand is BMW. BMW received an average score of 53 out of 100, with their least reliable model being the iX. BMW's most reliable models are the X5, which scored above average, and the i4 all-electric sedan, which scored well above average. It's worth mentioning, however, that many BMW models, including the X1, X3, 5 Series, and a few others, were not surveyed, which, if they were, could have dragged down BMW's score. BMW makes nice vehicles. They have improved their quality with their latest 4 and 6-cylinder engines, but I would still not consider them to be a very reliable brand. Certainly not for long-term ownership past the warranty period. They are best to lease for 3 to 4 years under warranty and then return. And I have the same concerns with the next brand that Consumer Reports put in the number 7 spot, and that brand is Audi. Similar to BMW, Audi received an overall score of 54 out of 100. But it's a deceiving placement because their models were either ranked very poor or very good. The least reliable models ranking below average are the Q5 and the Q8 e-tron, whereas the most reliable ones ranking above average are the A4, the A4 Allroad, and the A5. These models ranked above average largely because they've been around for so long without any changes, so their problems have been sorted for some time now. Again, Audi is a brand I would not have a lot of confidence owning past the warranty period. They make nice vehicles, but they are very expensive to maintain and repair, so they're best to lease and then return before the warranty expires. So definitely some questionable picks so far, but from here onward, the rest of Consumer Reports list starts to make a lot more sense, starting with the next brand in the number 6 spot, which is Mazda. Mazda received an overall score of 55 out of 100. Many of their models scored very high for reliability, including the CX-5, the CX-30, the Mazda 3, which all scored above average, and the MX-5. scoring well above average for reliability. The only model that hurt Mazda's ranking is the CX-90 and CX-90 plug-in hybrid, which scored below average, largely due to being brand new models for 2024 with some early teething problems and recalls that have been largely addressed for 2025. As a whole though, Mazda has proven to be an extremely reliable brand with many well-made vehicles that are ideal for long-term ownership, and I foresee them scoring even higher on the survey in the future. And the next brand that comes in the number 5 spot for reliability is Acura. Acura tied Mazda with a score of 55 out of 100, which was based on two models, the MDX, which received an average score, and the RDX, which received an above average score. Acura is part of Honda, so it's no surprise to see them score so well on the reliability survey. They are one of the most trusted brands to go with if you want a luxury vehicle that is not going to give you headaches and not cost a fortune to maintain and repair out of warranty. And it makes perfect sense why Acura came right next to the next brand in the number 4 spot, which is Honda. Honda received an overall score of 59 out of 100. Most of their models received an average reliability score, and 3 of their models received an above average score. These include the CR-V, the Accord, and the HR-V, which is the most reliable model in the lineup. For the most part, Honda makes excellent high-quality vehicles, including a few excellent hybrid models. So if you want a safe brand that's affordable to own, that you can safely keep for 10 to 15 years without expensive repairs, Honda is an excellent choice. And now getting into the top 3 most reliable car brands, all of which received an overall score above average for reliability. And the first of those, coming in the number 3 spot, is Toyota. Toyota received an overall score of 62 out of 100. Historically, Toyota has consistently been ranked in the number 1 or number 2 spot for reliability. And the only reason they dropped to the 3rd place this year is because of 3 models: the BZ4X, the redesigned Tacoma, and the Tundra, all ranked below average this year. Toyota significantly updated these models in recent years with new tech that has led to recalls and some problems. Aside from these 3, however, the rest of the Toyota lineup scored very well. Toyota had 7 models that scored above average for reliability, and they had 4 models that scored well above average, which is far higher and much better scoring than any other brand of the survey. The most reliable models are the Corolla and the RAV4, including the hybrid and the plug-in hybrid. So, although Toyota has some work to do on improving the quality of its redesigned trucks, the rest of the Toyota lineup is still very solid and for the most part extremely reliable, which is what we've come to expect from the brand. And when Toyota sorts out its truck recalls, chances are they will regain their crown in the top spot. And next up, in the number 2 spot, the second most reliable brand of the entire survey is Toyota's luxury division, which is Lexus. Lexus received an overall brand score of 65 out of 100, making it by far the most reliable luxury car brand. No surprise there. Only 2 Lexus models scored average. Every other model scored above average for reliability, which is extremely impressive. Lexus is proof that you can make modern vehicles with modern technology that work properly and don't have a lot of repair problems. Many other companies can learn a lot from them, so there's no question if you want a well-made, long-lasting luxury vehicle, Lexus is still the go-to brand. And with that, that brings us to the number 1 most reliable brand of the entire Consumer Reports study. And that brand is Subaru. Subaru received an impressive score of 68 out of 100. Most of their models scored above average, and 2 models, the Impreza and the Forester, scored well above average. This makes sense because Subaru has been playing it very safe for several years now, not taking any risks or introducing new drivetrains or new complicated tech. Even when they update or redesign their vehicles, they usually keep the same engines, transmissions, and all-wheel drive system that they've been using for ages. Consistency and avoiding risks is the formula to reliability, and it is one that the top Japanese auto brands have used for many years with great success. The only model that brought down Subaru's score is the Solterra, the EV which Subaru shares with Toyota, with a below average score. Otherwise, you have a very solid, reliable lineup. So for the most part, I think Consumer Reports got a lot of their picks right, especially the top 6 car brands, including Mazda, Acura, Honda, Toyota, Lexus, and Subaru. The data this year was based on 300,000 vehicles from 2000 to 2025 and looked at 20 common trouble areas, including areas of concern with EVs, like EV charging and batteries. Hybrids were ranked as the most reliable of the electrified vehicle types, with reliability that's comparable to that of the best internal combustion engine vehicles. And what's the major takeaway from this survey based on what the data is telling us? Well, try to avoid buying an all-new model in its first or second year of production. If you want to play it safe, buy a vehicle that has already been around for 2 to 3 years, ideally at least 3 to 4 years, which should have better sorted technology and no reliability surprises. So there you have it. Do you agree or disagree with the results of the survey? What has your experience been with any of these particular vehicles? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also take a look at my other videos by clicking the links up in the corner. Follow me on Instagram. And if you need any additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to visit carhelpcanada.com. Thanks so much for watching and see you next time.